again, folks. David Holden, Naturopath and Biochemist. I'm here to introduce the new practitioner on the block, Susanne Morning. Welcome to our team, Susanne.
Thanks, David.
Susanne has a very special gift. I was introduced to her by a long-term friend, sacred geometrist, and had a session with Susanne and was quite blown away. It's quite different to anything else I've experienced. Susanne, you've been a clairsentient since birth. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and your gift?
Yes, we didn't use those kind of words. I was raised in a very fundamental Christian home, so I still hold all those values, but I learned the words later. Clairsentience is just feeling and sensing the divine energy and messages. Clairvoyancy is being able to see, get visions, pictures. So I've always acted like that, and I thought as a child that was quite normal.
Right.
So I guess they call that empaths as well nowadays, intuitives.
So you feel what's going on for a person?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, so it's like, it's hard to explain. I will feel their energy, their emotions, what's gone on before, what might be coming. You just get this overall sentience about the person.
You do, yeah.
I do.
Can I express what happened for me? Because we did it over the phone on Zoom, right? I actually, because I've got some gifts myself, and I'm quite acute with my perception, having trained it from when I was a very small kid. And I actually felt you physically come into my body and check out what you were talking about as you were talking. It was quite amazing, actually. I've never had an experience like that before. And I was aware that there was things going on in the background in my brain, spiritually and emotionally, after what you'd said. So it obviously had triggered things in my consciousness. So can you talk about what the benefit is for having a session with you for a person that comes to see you? What would be the best things you could help them with?
I think anything where they feel blocked, or you're having reoccurring patterns in relationships, or, we all have different addictions. It may be food, maybe the way we look, it may be being a workaholic, or drugs and alcohol, or anything. And those blocks are often linked to subconscious things we're not aware of. So they can be linked to memories in our early childhood. If you believe in past lives, that we're eternal spirits and we come here more than once to learn, they can be linked to other lives. And they've done a lot of research around that. Stevenson, Brian Wise, Michael Newton, psychiatrists, Harvard trained. They've done research on the impact of that.
Yeah, I've had a number of past life regressions myself under hypnotherapy. It's amazing.
And you don't have to believe in it, but the evidence is there that it tends to clear physical symptoms and emotional issues, psychological problems. They've had so much success that they've had to research it. So you don't even have to believe in it. And as Viv said earlier, what was the one she said? Intergenerational things can be handed down.
So patterns that are like curses, as you said before. Yeah.
And it's almost like in cellular memory. A lot of this I believe in because I've experienced it in my own life, and I've seen issues from my grandma being repeated in my life. It was almost like I was carrying on and completing her learning for a bigger picture.
Right.
So it's not just sometimes we're here on our own doing our thing. There's a lot bigger activity and learning going on in the cosmos. So I guess I would, you could say I was a medical intuitive, scanning the body and seeing things. I'd probably say like an energy channel. I always start with the opening prayer to the divine loving intelligence, which I regard as being at the top of all spiritual entities and the Christ-like. And I work through that, which to me is the purest form of unconditional love with no payback, and the timing and everything's perfect. And then what I receive as I scan a person and just come into their, I guess you call it energy field, is what I believe they are ready to deal with.
Right.
And I receive the information that they're ready to cope with.
Right.
So it won't be like woo-woo if they don't believe in that or they can't cope with that, it'll be
right.
relevant to their current position.
Can you talk a bit about spirit guides? Because I know a lot of people are very interested in this area and being in touch with their spirit guides and getting clear messages. Do you help people with that?
Yes, sometimes, loved ones will come in.
Yes.
To encourage and to say...
deceased relatives?
Deceased relatives who have passed over, because I believe that we're never separated from love.
Yeah.
Even though the physical body has passed over.
Yep.
Love is the strongest bond, so
absolutely
they come in. I believe they watch from another dimension, you know. Some people may not share that belief, but they watch.
There's more and more science now going in that direction.
Yes, and I don't make it up, but then I get pictures and then people show me the photograph and I go, yes. I was raised to actually not believe in any of this and see it as very evil.
Right.
So
you came from a very fundamentalist Christian perspective.
So, it has been my journey, my search, my experience and quest with the divine to know what is truth and what isn't.
Great.
And I think by the fruits you know them. And I see, that's a quote from the Bible, that people are freed up and liberated and encouraged. People in deep grief who have lost their loved ones, and when they come in it with a message, to keep going, you're on the right track, that does more than any medication.
Yeah.
And I understand that grief because I couldn't have children and I lost 2 children in pregnancy, and so that was my journey, getting messages from them. And I was stuck with a tremendous grief with my grandfather, and that came through. He came through and said it's time to let go. Right. I'm in a happy place. I died the way I wanted to. I was told by some fortune teller that he would have a violent death, but he moved his life into a more divine order with the divine, and that changed his direction. So
tell us what a session looks like with you. So you can do it face-to-face or via Zoom or Skype?
It doesn't matter either way, because a lot of the time I have my eyes closed, so Zoom's very successful.
Yep.
I open it up with a prayer for the divine, for their highest good, upliftment, healing, and me as a pure channel. And basically, I don't rely on a formula. It's not left brain. I just open up and
go with the flow.
Ask the divine to flow through whatever this person needs at this time. So I'll get all sorts of messages. Whatever's relevant, it may be their physical body, their spiritual, their emotional, their past, their future, it might be relationships. But usually over the hour and a half I seem to have a good scan, and we tend to go to the core of the issue.
Right.
Of what's holding people back. So that takes work. It takes work. It's not a magic wand. I'm the narrator of the story that's given to me, and then they co-create with the divine to start redirecting their thoughts, and we lift off grief, blocked emotions.
So now you're peeling back layers almost to get to the core of what's really going on.
Peeling back layers, and we're far more energetic than this body.
Yeah,
because when I look and I feel and I see energy, and then people tell me later, well, I could feel you moving in my heart, or I could feel something at the back of my head, or heat here. So I don't always have an explanation for everything. I'm not a neuroscientist. I failed physics at school.
Can't all be academics.
I did manage to get through my academics and get a degree and a master's, but I am a creative and an artist, and so I just work with flow.
Sure. Yeah. So I noticed you gave quite a bit of follow-up after we had our session. You texted me and phoned me and asked me about my dreams the next day. And there was a particular issue with my mother where she came to me because she died about 3 years ago and I was very close to her.
Yes.
And we had a connection about that, and she came to me a few other times after that, which was quite interesting. So this work isn't for everyone, but if you're open to the divine and your spiritual destiny, I found that this can really help give you more clarity. So it's something to look at. So if you're interested in what Susanne does, then by all means send her an email. It's all on our website, and engage and ask her about what she does and book a session. So thank you very much. And is there anything else you want to add?
Well, you're right. After the session, it's like a shift takes place.
Yep.
It's an energetic shift. Things move, cellular memory, and then that impacts on the body. So people do perhaps afterwards have dreams, physiological symptoms, rashes, all sorts, and dreams or crying as emotions are released.
Yeah.
But it's good.
It's all about helping you take
It
the
may
vibration
be,
higher.
yeah, it may be a little bit painful, but it's good because it clears stuff and then they're free and then they move on. And I know that because I've done it in my life in the last 50 years.
Exactly.
So I do this work out of my own experience.
Well, you can't do it if you teach it if you haven't done it yourself.
Yes.
Exactly.
Wouldn't be authentic. So
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining our team, and there'll be more on our website. So if you want more information, please send us an email or phone us. Thanks very much, and I'll see you next time.